what's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at another anime review, and today we're just taking a look at K. It is literally just called K. This is one of the hardest animes I ever had to find, because it was just called K. Finding pictures or any information on this anime is so hard, because just typing in K doesn't give you a lot, because Google and other search engines are trying to give you everything that has the K in it. So trying to find one that's specific to this is really fucking hard. But I did see a clip of this on TikTok. It was one of the dudes skateboarding, and I thought it looked sick as fuck. So I did decide to watch it, and I ended up watching it. I watched it all in one go. It does have 12 episodes, all around 20 minutes each, so you can easily watch it in one day or 3 hours, depending on how spread out you want to do it, and I very much enjoyed it. So without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say. So, K, it is a 2012 action anime. It does have 2 seasons, but this is only the first one that we're going to be taking a look at here. It has a 4.6 out of 5 on Crunchyroll, a 7.4 out of 10 on my anime list, and a 7 out of 10 on IMDb. A young, essay, easygoing boy finds himself caught in a psychic war between 7 knights after he is wrongly accused of murder. Pretty simple. Pretty easy to understand, pretty easy to follow. How the first episode goes is a really good opener because it sets the world up, sets the stage for where the anime is set, and sets the rules for the world. We have him just being a regular old teen and going to school, helping out with his classmates, and being sort of seen as very popular, but very weird, because he never really hangs around with anybody. He seems to float around everybody, and he never really stays in one place, and he always doesn't buy his own food. He kind of eats everyone else's food, and he ends up going to sleep in one of the rooms during the middle of the day when he should be at class, which is kind of strange. But he always has a white cat with him. He loves this white cat, and when he's sent into town to get some supplies for the festival, he ends up being hunted down by a guy with a sword because he apparently murdered someone. There's a video clip online of him murdering someone. And he manages to escape this guy and being like, no, it wasn't me, wasn't me. And he follows him all the way back to his dorm. And, you know, he's like, hey, let me have an opportunity to prove my innocence. He succeeds, and then he fails. And then he ends up going round and round, trying to find somewhere to prove his innocence, trying to find someone who can sort of back him up, and he does. He finds evidence for this, and then it turns out that it was him, because he has a bloody uniform in his, in his locker, which isn't that good. That's very conflicting evidence. They end up, going and following this and finding out that he swapped bodies with someone, and his soul is actually someone else's, and this is his body, and he's had his mind erased by the cat that he's got following him, and the cat isn't actually his cat, it's just the cat that he found or landed on, and now they have to work together, and she was erasing his memories of his past. All very, very confusing. And they end up in a war with the Blue Knight and the Blue King and the Red King, because the Red King handed himself into the Blue King to give the other kings or the other members of the Red Clan some sort of some wiggle room, some less attention from the other Blues, so they could run around and do what they wanted. And oh my, there's so much that went on in this anime. We have the red team finding, all this stuff, and going to attack the blue team, and then also trying to kill this kid that the blue team is trying to kill, because obviously he killed one of their mates. And they find out that it wasn't him. The Blues take out a blimp of the Unseen King, and the Unseen King then is fighting and is in the war with the Blue and the Reds. They end up, surviving, and the main character sacrifices himself to save everyone. That's where the story ends. pretty much that's where the story ends, and that's it. That's literally it. So, overall, story is a little confusing. I'll give it that. It's a good story, but you have to lock in. You have to lock in. You cannot watch this and play on your phone. You cannot watch this half-assed. You cannot have this on in the background and expect to understand it. You need to lock the fuck in for this one, because it gets very, very confusing, and very, very sort of key details that count and they matter. I skipped over a couple of these details, but like, you know, if you're not watching this anime, you will miss them. So if you do decide to go watch this for yourself, definitely lock in. It is also based on a game, I do believe. I definitely believe this anime is based on a game, and for whatever reason, we seem to have a lot of animes coming out in like 2012, 2013, 2014 that were based on video games. We had Danganronpa, we have this one. We also had one that we took a look at a couple of months ago, which is another game one, which is very weird. I don't know. I'm not sure how well they are, because I've never played the game, so I don't know how well they actually translate, but this one was pretty cool. The character design of this one was really nice. I liked all of them. They all stood out, and they all had their key features, so definitely expect some LEGO customs on some of these characters in the next couple of weeks, months, or maybe even already out. I don't know, but it is a good anime. I like the characters. Especially the skateboarding dude. He was the main reason that I wanted to watch this, and he was such a fucking badass. I loved him. He was really cool. He was constantly, like, fighting with his skateboard. He was, like, the big tough guy. He had all this attitude. He was honestly really cool, and my personal favorite character from this anime. And, you know what? You should definitely go watch it for yourself. Definitely go watch it for yourself. It, again, it isn't a long anime. You can easily watch this one in one day. But the art style is alright. It's not very special. It doesn't stand out against some of the others. It's kinda boring and kind of blends in with some of the other animes. It's nothing too special. It's nothing like Demon Slayer or Kaiju number 8 or My Hero with its like level up anime, but it isn't terrible. It is a decent animation. It's definitely better than the one that I watched a couple of days ago, like the last anime movie that I watched, like one about drawing manga. So I'm very happy to have an anime upgrade, not gonna lie. This one is definitely a lot better. But yeah, he was honestly my favorite character. He was sick as fuck. His picture just came on screen then, so it's what came to mind. He is sick as fuck. Like, he will be your favorite character too. He is clearly the best, and he does fit my like style of clothing as well. Baggy jeans, oversized t-shirt, beanie, headphones. What more do you want? What more do you need when you're going out for a skate? It is nothing but what you need. It is fucking brilliant. Some of the other characters are quite boring, and you don't really care about them, but you do need to like keep an eye on them, because some of them are sneaky, and some of them do only have minor parts at the start, but end up being a big part towards the end. Like, it's those characters which you don't think will have any effect on the story that actually end up having some of the biggest effects in the story, and sort of changing the story for the worse, or changing it for the better, depending on how you view it, or depending on who you are, you know? The power system was a little scuffed as well. I will say that the power system of this anime, I couldn't get my head around, because they just seem to make new rules for it all the time, because every gang, every king has some power which he can spread between his members with tattoos. If you get a tattoo, you can have some of his power, right? But also, some people just have powers with no king and with no tattoos, and they are called wanderers. But then some of these wanderers got powers from a king, but they disbanded, but they kept the it's a lot. Like, the power system's a lot, and it's very scuffed, and the powers don't really make sense either. Like, oh, you work for like the red guy who has like fire-based powers, but you get super strength. or just like red aura, and it doesn't really explain the power. It just gives them red aura, and that's supposed to soup them up. I don't know. Like, the power system, I definitely think is the hardest thing to get your head around with this anime, and there's definitely some tweaks that could have been made to make it a little bit easier to understand or a little bit easier to digest. But other than the power system, I thought it was alright. Voice acting is good. Again, it is the same few sort of voice actors you can recognize from most animes, with a couple of new voices as well, which I haven't heard before, which is always nice. It's always nice to have a fresh new voice in your anime rather than listening to the same Bryce Papenbrook over and over and over again, which I swear he was in this anime, but after googling it, he actually isn't, so that's a shocker for me, not gonna lie. But yeah, this anime is actually really good, and I do believe it does deserve, like, you know, a good 8 out of 10. So other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this YouTube video. I'll see you all next one. I hope you all have an excellent day, and goodbye. Stay home and stay safe. If you do want to review any other animes, TV shows, movies, anything like that, do let me know down in the comments below, and I'll get on as soon as possible. Alright, other than that, I am actually done now, and I'll leave you to it. Bye-bye.